Georgia is a mountainous country in the Caucasus, located on the border of Europe and Asia, between Russia and the countries of the Middle East. It is a home to incredible landscape, culture, and history. From driving one of the world's most beautiful roads high up in the Caucasus, to big city life in Georgian's Dubai, to ancient cities carved into the rock, Georgia offers a huge cross-section of attractions. Let's start this video from the city where most people land and start their journey from, Kutaisi. This is the second largest city of the country, which is often very overlooked. Most tourists here visit only the airport, and that's a real pity, because Kutaisi is the purest form of Georgia. Its most popular attraction is Baghdadi Orthodox Church, which is towering over the city from where a fantastic panorama of the city stretches. With low classical architecture, it is a city with Georgian soul, which should not be missed. Speaking of typically Georgian places, we will now move on to number 2 on our list, Uplisciche. This is an ancient town carved into a steep hillside, which is one of the oldest urban centers in the whole Caucasus. The first traces of rock dwellings on the territory of today's Uplisciche appeared in the Iron Age, that is, around the 10th century BC. Desolated today, the town was once inhabited by 20,000 people. The location of the settlement offers beautiful views of the valley below, with the mountains in the background, making the composition of the landscape picturesque. Just like the Georgian military road, which is one of the most beautiful car routes in the world, offering, in my opinion, the most attractive views in the country. On the way, you'll definitely pass by Ananuri Fortress, which is located in a lush green valley above the turquoise Zin Valley Reservoir. Then, you will drive to the best viewpoint in the country, the monument of Georgian and Russian friendship, which surroundings of snow-covered Caucasian 5000ers and location over a huge precipice is simply overwhelming and unforgettable. Afterwards, at the very end of the route, there is probably the most Georgian site ever. Located at 2,170 meters above the sea level, the monastery of Tsminda Sameva. I mean, what can I say more? Just take a look at it. If you want to see more about the Georgian military road, I recorded a separate episode about it. By the way, I kindly ask you to subscribe. Being a small creator, every subscription really motivates me, and it'll be much appreciated if you do so. Heading down from Tsminda Sameva, 2 hours later, at the very end of the Georgian military road, we will reach the largest city and at the same time, the capital of Georgia, Tbilisi. This huge city offers an unusual combination of old and new. From the multi-level old town with pastel wooden huts, historic baths with distinctive domed brick roofs, with a building that looks like it's from the Silk Road, and the Narikala Fortress that is towering above them and overlooks the entire city. Right down to the theater buildings, looking like laid glass tubes, the great park spaces of Rika Park, one of the most unusual bridges in the world, the Bridge of Peace, and the Justice House building that looks like a huge white blooming flower from above. It is something that you don't see very often. Tbilisi is an extremely clean and friendly place to visit. You just walk around and every now and then you come across something cool. I also recorded a dedicated episode about it, link in the corner. From the largest city we will now go to the largest seaside resort of Georgia, Batumi, commonly called the Georgian Dubai. The overall skyline of the city is really impressive, especially at night, when it's illuminated in different colors. The skyscrapers are not typical either. Take a look at the Alphabet Tower, which resembles a DNA spiral with 33 letters of the unique Georgian alphabet. Or this tower, with a clock that looks like a Ferris wheel. In front of the city skyline there is an 8-kilometer long Batumi promenade, on which I recommend renting an electric cart just like me. Flip-flops on eggs. Georgia doesn't stop surprising. Batumi is not only about high urban landscape, it also has a small old town, but it is not as impressive as in Tbilisi. Instead, I'd like to draw your attention to the agricultural market, which is not a typical tourist place. Here, you will buy all kinds of spices, teas, fruits, vegetables, and most importantly, you will not be able to escape from the local vendors who will not let you leave their stands. Truly Georgian experience. Speaking of Georgian experiences and history, we'll now move on to another city, this time located in the central part of the country, Gori. It is a city which is mostly known for the fact that the war criminal leader of the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin, was born here and lived here during his childhood. Here you can see probably the most famous road sign here, Stalin Avenue 26. In front of me in the Stalin's Park, the Stalin's Museum, where you can find his original childhood home, monuments, paintings, and the wagon in which he traveled. Just like other tourists, after seeing all of these things, I formed an opinion that there's some sort of a cult of Stalin here. And also, this may be partially true. It is not fair for a lot of inhabitants who are against their city being associated with the image of this tyrant. Just like Zana, a native of Gori and anti-Stalin activist, with whom I had the pleasure of touring and had the possibility to disenchant the wrong impression of Gori. She says she would like the stereotypical perception of the city to change. She doesn't want to get rid of Stalin completely, but rather use his figure to educate and make people aware of who he actually was and what he did. Zana runs her own tourist business, which is called Gori Free Walk-in Tour, which I highly recommend. You won't find a better tour guide here, and above all, you will hear a different perspective on this city. Referring to the Soviet influences in Georgia, it is impossible not to mention the town of Ckaltubo, which is known for its abandoned spa resorts, which remained here after the collapse of the Soviet Union. There are plenty of them here, each in a different unique style. Sometimes resembling ancient architecture, or temples in jungles like in Cambodia, or even looking like an UFO. All of this makes Ckaltubo a truly original place on the map of Georgia. There will be also a separate film about it, so you don't want to miss it out, because there is a lot more to uncover. A few kilometers west from Ckaltubo, there is Martvili Canyon. It is impressive thanks to its moss grown trees, rock formations, and waterfalls. And all of that blends beautifully with the intense color of the water. The canyon is a real gem, and a beautiful corner of Georgia, which is truly worth a visit. Another interesting side of nature is Katshki Pillar. It is a unique place towering over an equally peculiar area of lush green valley. This is a natural 40-meter high limestone column already on the top of the hill, with a church from the 7th century built on the top of it. It is fascinating that historians are still unsure how the monks reached the summit, let alone carrying building materials to build the church. The last place that I'm going to cover in this video is located around 10 kilometers from Katshki Pillar, Chiatura. It is one of the places where the time has stopped. In the past, there was a huge industrial and mining center here. The city developed very rapidly along the valley and the river located at its bottom. This caused many problems, as the mines were located on the slopes of the valley above the rest of the buildings. Therefore, a cable car system was established, which today is a haunting relic of the Stalinist era. Till this day, one wagon has been preserved, and you'll admit that it looks both original and creepy.